The best thing about snowbanks is you can just dump your tripod into it. You don't have to open up the legs. It's brilliant. It's also really cold out here today. Like, really cold. Like, bitey cold. Well, that's kind of cool. Look at the benches stacked. That'd be a good one. Excuse me if I sound a little bit bunged up. I'm a little bit sick. Shooting outside in winter in very cold Nocton 21 1.8 with an M8, which is still, by the way, absolutely minty fresh, is a pain. And I'll explain why shooting with this in the cold is a bit of a pain. You lose some battery life, that's for sure. I did a video about battery life and comparisons in extreme cold last winter. But as it's an old camera, and I should have taken out the SL2S today, I don't baby my cameras, I use them. They're tools, they're machines, they're to be used. What I found today is I went out with a full battery. I've still got a full battery, but because this is an old camera, it does have one or two foreballs that do pop up in the extreme cold. And let me explain what that is. If you own an M8 or anything that has a bottom plate on it, when the camera gets cold, and as this is brass construction, it does get cold very, very quickly, so you do need to wear some gloves. It will pull an error occasionally where it tells you the bottom and the battery cover is actually open on you when it's not, and it's perfectly seated. All you have to do is turn your camera off, open the battery cover, put it back on, and it generally clears the error. Having an M8 and an M8 that is still probably kicking around 9,500 actuations on the show is a thing of joy. It's a thing to behold, but it is a tool, and I like to use my cameras. The one time that I don't really pull out the M8 is when it is super cold. There is an operating range for all electronics in cold weather, and the M8 being old, I say I don't baby it. Maybe I baby it a little bit because I don't want to have to buy another one. I don't want it to go wrong. And I've said this before, if my M8 dies and becomes a paperweight, it's going to be a beautiful paperweight, but I will buy another M8 of some ilk. If I'm shooting in cold weather and there's extreme cold and there's just cold, today it's just cold, I wouldn't call it extreme, but I am operating at the level of where the camera doesn't like it. Anything colder than about, I think it was minus 22 with the wind today, you pretty much need to have your camera in your bag, preferably with some hot pockets, keeping it nice and warm. Some hand warmers. Keep it out of the wind, keep it shot. I've got it in my front pocket of my my N3B USAF Extreme Arctic jacket. But those pockets aren't insulated, they're just cloth, so it does get cold. And I noticed when I got back, and I was only out for about 45 minutes to an hour, that the camera, you could feel the cold off of the brass. It really took it. And ultimately, this will do damage, which is why I don't take it out too often in the cold because I don't want to break it. The SL, no problems in the cold. It generally is fine. The battery life, like I said, can get a bit nuked if you're doing a full day shoot and you're in the cold all day, but no one's going to be in the cold all day unless you're living, I don't know, way, way in the cold. I can pick and choose when I go outside. I can pick and choose when I shoot. But it was kind of fun. The only other thing I'm going to say is, obviously my it's a Leica, so therefore it's exposure comped. The worst thing about shooting, and if you have any tips for shooting in the winter, maybe I need to put a filter on my lens, is it's predominantly flat light. So therefore, you have to compensate a little bit for that. Otherwise, you're just not going to get what you think you're actually, you're not going to get what you're expecting to actually take. I'm actually pretty happy. I didn't take too many photos. Obviously, the one with the picnic tables was a bit of a balk. The little glove on the fence was better in colour than it was black and white. Obviously, you've seen those photos. There's a few more coming at the end. Please like and subscribe. There's a few more pictures from today. But it comes to a point of every time I pick up a camera, every time I go out, it's a learning experience, much like the woodworking, much like sitting and talking about music, which it's winter, so I'm in music mode, which will probably stay quite permanent because I do enjoy sitting and talking about music. It's a learning experience. It's always fun. A camera should be an EDC, an everyday carry. If you don't have it, then you can't use it. But choose your weapon carefully. I'm always half tempted to go get my Canon A1 out because I'm pretty sure that if the light meter goes, which is the only electronic thing on it, it's still going to act. It's still going to work, and it's still going to fire. If not, I'll pull out a Nikon F4. I really want a Minolta CL, but I can't afford it. So that's it. So winter photography. It was bloody cold. It was bloody uncomfortable, but I had a lot of fun. Enjoy the photographs. Take care. Peace.